everybody, welcome to Geek Impulse. I am here today in Hollywood right now. As you can see behind us, we have the Pantages Theater. We are here for the Funimation event where we are going to actually interview the cast of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie coming out in January.
I know. I've worked on all the other ones. I've directed all the other ones. I directed this one. And they have to go see this because this movie has everything that the previous two movies did not have in it. Like everything that people said, man, I wish Battle of Gods and Resurrection F had X, Y, or Z. This has exactly that. I used to have a favorite, but now I think I have a new favorite. There's something really remarkable about the story.
From the moment that I watched it, I loved the added depth and the added dimension to the character that did not ever exist. The extra dimension and depth that they give him of his background and his history, I think is going to be incredibly moving and compelling. You know, I think the fans are just going to love him and feel for him in a way that they never would have before, because there was no backstory really before.
There's a lot of heartfelt drama. We get to see sides of characters that we have not ever gotten to see before. So even though Bulma kind of takes a back seat in this particular movie, I'd say that the focus is on the kind of family aspect and how important family can be in your life, how it can be a detriment or it can be a plus, like either way. So we get to see a little bit of both in this film, and I find that really, really cool. It's just such a good film. And I was even talking to the gentleman over there. I was like, here's the thing. Battle of Gods was great. I had plenty of screen time. It was all about Bulma. I loved it. Resurrection F, great, but this one is just on another level, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it.
Actually, I would say of all the characters, I'd probably say Bardock, oddly enough. You're going to see a side of Bardock that you weren't used to seeing in the past. Like the previous iterations of Bardock had Bardock as this guy who was like having weird premonitions of the future, and just was doing something kind of like to protect himself. But you're going to see a very different side of Bardock in this film. So, like, probably my favorite part of the film has to do with Bardock and Guinea, which is Goku's mother. That's probably one of the most profound moments to me, because something, I don't even know, I don't know when this is coming out or how much I should spoil it for you or anything like that, but there's just this moment where, trying to think of the safest way to say this, but Bardock basically says something to his wife in it that makes you question whether it was Goku knocking himself on the head as a child that made him a good person, or was it like destiny and some sort of, was it because this feeling was injected into his personality because perhaps it was a kind of a suppressed personality trait that many Saiyans don't have, because Saiyans were typically just warriors, fearless, eat their enemies and stuff like that, and Bardock in previous iterations was sort of one of those guys. But this is definitely a side of a Saiyan that you don't expect to see.
Here's the thing about Goku generally, and I was so proud when Masuko Nozawa was on stage and they were asking the same question and she was answering the same thing I was thinking, which made me realize, because I'm pretty insecure about whether or not I'm playing this right for Akira Toriyama, because we played it wrong on Z because I say wrong, I mean like Funimation and the general culture of anime was make it very American, and that's all shifted now, which is what I was bitching about in '99 and 2000, because I believe in the power of story and that it doesn't matter if it's Japanese or whatever, we're all humans, and if you just tell the original story, if it has power there, it'll have power here. American producers sometimes don't get that. And we gotta change it up for the kids. I'm like, no you don't. They'll get it. Stop doing that. So Funimation generally had a culture turn by the time we got to Kai, and they also hired a bunch of really great people the staff's been great. And so for Kai, I was hardcore about keeping things pure. And I have Japanese scripts in the booth. Since Kai, I always keep Japanese scripts in the booth. So in case there's a discrepancy I don't trust. And I'll catch the writer occasionally trying to write Goku more like Vegeta. Goku, three things about Goku. He likes fighting the strongest no matter what. He's always in the state of the beginner's mind. He's an embodiment of the beginner's mind. He's not a proud Saiyan warrior. The ego and avarice, ego and stuff is it's not in his wheelhouse. So when people start writing me like Vegeta, I'm like, no, Goku stays consistent, beginner's mind the whole way. Everyone else grows and evolves around him. But Goku's the embodiment of the beginner's mind. And so I have to keep him consistent that way. And I think Masako Nozawa does that, and I think Akira Toriyama does that in his writing, and I just want that so I can make sure I do that. So technically, other than dealing with more social things like, in Super, he accidentally teleports into Bulma's room and he damages his chi and he's trying to use a cell phone. Like, there's social things he's trying to deal with. He might be evolving as a master strategist and as a fighter. And I'm not sure if he's being groomed to become one of the angels of like Whis or Beerus. Is he being groomed to be the god of destruction or the god of creation? I don't know what's happening with him, but he's definitely going to stay at his soul and his character fundamentally consistent, whereas other people grow and change. So, and when Masako answered, she didn't answer as much detail because she's on stage and she doesn't have as much time to talk as I do, and they're also translating, but she basically said something really similar, and I was like, yes, that's how I see this character, thank you.
Oh, for my character, well, there's a lot of comic relief. So, Bulma's funny, y'all. Bulma's got the jokes.
My biggest takeaway is going to be the same one that the fans are going to take away, and that is that this is such a wonderful take on the character of Broly.
There's some stuff that happens, it's just perfect. It really is. You're getting, there's some real meat to this movie that the other ones just didn't have. In Battle of Gods, they had a kind of an interesting fight with Beerus, but it kind of never went anywhere. And then in Resurrection F, they had a pretty decent fight with Frieza, but it was clear that Vegeta and Goku weren't even taking the fight seriously. This is the fight to watch. Oh my God, it's so good.
I was up late last night, and I couldn't sleep, and my thoughts kept going to the fans, and I realized the thing I'm most excited about this movie is the moment the fans walk out and the feeling they're going to have. I'm most excited for Dragon Ball Z fans and Dragon Ball fans because this is everything you've ever wanted in a movie. But after this movie, I'm a Gogeta fan, hardcore. So, because Gogeta kicks some serious ass. It is, and they made him so cool.